Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Victoria Camden. I am your writer, reader, and commiserator. Today, we are talking about Children of Blood and Bone. I know I have been promising this review for a very, very long time. Life has been lifing and just things got away from me. So let's get into it. This book is by Tomi Adeyemi, and it is an Afro fantasy. Not dystopia, an Afro fantasy, and it is YA. It centers around a world in which magi are cut off from their power and their connection to their power, and they are looked down upon and mistreated, and the book mainly focuses on the children of those magi because all of the adults have been killed in a war. And that's not a spoiler, that's told like right in the beginning of the book. So the first thing I want to say is that when I went to read this book, there were two things. One, I did not know it was a YA book. And two, I did not know it was in the first person. So YA is not necessarily my favorite genre to read. And I do read YA, and I do read children's fantasy, which I actually prefer over YA. So, you know, think Wrinkle in Time. I did read Harry Potter, Never-Ending Story, which is, by the way, my favorite novel of all time. And, you know, I read The Hunger Games, Divergent, you get the idea. But I usually stay away from YA because it is written in the first person and it's not my favorite point of view. All of that to say, I loved this book. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of action. It had heartwarming moments. It had really thoughtful and thought-provoking moments in it. And we did get multiple point of views, even though they weren't first person, from the different characters, which I enjoyed, because that's something I enjoy about fantasy, is just that real world immersion and getting everybody's point of view and how they see the world. So we do get that. The magic system is unique. It is, like I said, an Afro fantasy, so it comes from African lore, and I cannot remember the exact region of Africa, but you know, you can look that up yourself, or I can put it in the description down below. But it does take from their lore, their belief system, their mythos, and stories and traditions that have been taught. So it is very different than like a European based system, but there's still familiarity within it because we're all human beings, and at the end of the day, you know, we all tell our stories kind of the same way. So I really enjoyed that. There were themes of racism, internalized racism, without being overbearing. I'm not sure, I don't think overbearing is the right word. Without being preachy, that's it. It was not preachy at all, but the themes were in there of internalized racism, of putting one person or group of people down just because of who they are. And we can see that across nationalities and happening within groups of people. The characters were very real, very vivid. The world building was excellent. One of the things that I really loved about it was showing that there were snow-capped mountains and places where it snows in Africa, which, you know, obviously. However, when most Western writers write a story based in Africa, I feel like they kind of base their regions on like the desert areas. And so you don't really get to see the vast landscape that is Africa. I mean, it is the second largest continent in the world. It is bordered by 3 different bodies of water. So 2 of them are oceans. So you have the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and then the Mediterranean Sea. And it's just a vast place with a lot of different topography and geology and animals and peoples. Africa is multicultural. There are hundreds of countries and languages. So there's a lot of tradition, a lot of stories, a lot of history there that can really be drawn from and used in world building. And that is what this author did. And she did it in just a very beautiful, beautiful way. Do I recommend this book, even though it's a YA in first person? Yes. It's fun. It's exciting. It's heartwarming. And there are parts of it that are heartbreaking. And I loved the ending. There is a cliffhanger. I know some of you don't like cliffhangers, but this is part of a 3-book series. I think it's 3 books. It might be more, but right now, as far as I know, there's 3 books. So I cannot wait to read the next one. And it, you know, there's a lot of hope in it, and then there's a lot of like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? So I really do recommend that book. So let me put it back up here for you all to see. Excellent writing, beautiful book, beautiful characters. So that is my review of Children of Blood and Bone. I will do another review hopefully within the next month, so maybe in the beginning to middle of February. I'm looking over here because I've got like several books that I'm reading. But yeah, absolutely, I hope to do my next review, you know, by next month. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Do all the things like share, subscribe. My socials are in the description, and I've added in Substack. So I'm going to use Substack kind of like a newsletter to do some of my updates and things like that. I know some people like to read and get that into their inbox. I'm also committing to doing 1 short fiction piece a month. So a short story, a prose piece, part of a serialized novel that I'm working on. And so I'm waiting till I get a couple more chapters in before I start releasing that. So I'm really, really going to commit to that. I have lots of stories right here, and some of them are on the back burner because I am trying to finish the revisions of my novel so I can submit by the end of the month. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. Let's see. Oh, very exciting. Next week, my newest video, my newest venture will drop, and that is my podcast, Writing in the Dark. So on that podcast, I interview authors that are just like me, like you possibly, but they're new writers, up-and-coming writers, or writers that aren't like famous. Some of them are indies, some of them are published traditionally, and what we talk about is the process and experience itself of writing and the craft of writing. So we talk about the things that get us frustrated, the things that are great about it, how we do things. And so I think it was very insightful, and it can be very insightful to kind of hear from other authors who might be in the same place that you are, maybe a little bit ahead, maybe even a little bit behind, to kind of see what their process is and what their experience is, and know that you are not alone out there, and that your words do matter, and just get them out and get them on paper so everyone can read. So again, I will see you later. The book is Children of Blood and Bone, and until next time, bye.